You can't run a farm next to our homes." That's the first thing Karen, self-crowned HOA queen, ever screamed across my fence line. And let me tell you, I'd survived IEDs, midnight raids, 22 years in the army, but nothing prepped me for a suburban tyrant wielding a clipboard like it was a badge. She called my old tractor a menace, sent drones buzzing over my fields like mechanical hornets, plastered my name in every HOA newsletter like I was public enemy number one. I tried to let it slide. But Karen, she wasn't built to quit. One morning, her Lexus came roaring down the gravel road and smashed straight into my tractor, and she dialed 911, sobbing about how I'd attacked her. What she didn't know? Every second, her crash, her lies, even the rock she hurled through my windshield, was caught on my cameras. And once that truth came out, it was her world that started to unravel. Before I go any deeper, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. And yeah, what time is it where you are? My name's Daniel Mercer. After 22 years serving overseas, I came home to rebuild what was left of my father's farm. Modest house, barn older than I was, a tractor that coughed more than it ran. Nothing fancy, but it was home. I didn't move back to be anyone's neighbor. I came to care for my land, to coax life from dirt that had been in my family for 3 generations, to plant corn rows that could whisper in the wind like they did when I was a kid. But the world doesn't wait. While I was gone, Stone Creek Estates popped up right against my fence line. A fortress of beige, a developer's dream turned into a suburban nightmare. At the center of it all, Karen. The first time I met her, she was on my porch before dawn, clipboard in one hand, sunglasses perched on her head like a crown. "You're new here," she sniffed, as if I'd just moved in. I told her plain as day, "This land's been mine a long time. Your HOA's got no jurisdiction here." Her smile twitched, but she gave me a warning. "What happens on your property affects our community." Back then, I figured she was just another neighbor with too much time and too little power. I was wrong. The letters started, neatly typed, slipped under my door, complaining about unsightly machinery and violations of codes that only applied to their subdivision. I tossed them. Then came the drone, buzzing low over my barn, snapping photos that showed up in their newsletter with headlines like, "New neighbor raises safety concerns." I knew exactly who was behind it, but I kept my head down. I rebuilt fence posts, fixed irrigation lines, spent weeks coaxing life back into my dad's old tractor. That first morning it roared to life. I felt like he was standing right beside me. But Karen? She saw only a violation. Every time that tractor moved, she was there, snapping pictures from her Lexus, clutching her lapdog like the smell of corn dust might kill her. Harvest season was the tipping point. I'd wake before dawn, pour black coffee in a thermos, and steer the tractor into a sunrise that turned the field gold. That's when she'd perch at the edge of her lawn in a red tracksuit, blazing like a flare, filming me, yelling about dust on her patio furniture. I shut the tractor off, wiped my brow, and told her, "This is farmland. Always has been." She stormed off, heels clicking like gunfire, but her eyes said she wasn't done. Within a week, I found her sign on the walking trail. "Caution, dangerous farm machinery. Report to Stone Creek HOA." Her number was in bold. I took photos, started a folder on my computer. HOA nonsense. You know what I mean? You can tell when someone's about to escalate. Angela Booker, deputy sheriff, and an old friend from the service, caught me at the hardware store. "Be careful," she warned. "Karen's got friends on the zoning board. Document everything." So I did. Cameras went up. Barn, east gate, one tucked into a hollow fence post, motion activated, high res. The next Saturday, Karen's Lexus came barreling down the easement. She slammed into the tractor's front quarter, metal shrieked, dust flew, and she tumbled out, screaming, "He attacked me. He tried to kill me." She called 911, voice trembling with all the drama she could muster. But Camera 3 caught it all. The speed, the impact, the rock she hurled through my windshield after, glass spiderwebbing under the sun. Officer Cordell, a kid I'd once coached in Little League, stepped out of the squad car. He listened to Karen wail about ambushes by farm equipment, then turned to me. "You got cameras?" I handed him the flash drive. Karen's smile died. "What do you mean footage?" she stammered, but Cordell just said, "We'll review it at the station." That night, I leaned against my battered tractor, cicadas singing, wondering how peace can be so expensive. Sometimes it takes roots. Sometimes it takes scars. Sometimes you gotta show the world that truth has deeper roots than any HOA rulebook. If Karen was hoping to scare me off, she only doubled down after Cordell left with my flash drive instead of hauling me off in cuffs. Complaints stacked up. Inspectors showed up citing improper fuel storage, but I had logs laminated on the barn wall. "This is cleaner than most city yards," one muttered. I scanned the notice, dropped it in my folder, let the original flutter into the burned barrel. Then came the vandalism, spray paint across my fence. Keep it quiet. I just repainted and added another camera. Every move was another thread in the rope she was weaving for herself. Then came the twist. I found an old easement agreement buried in public records. Stone Creek's HOA never finalized control over the road where Karen claimed authority. She'd rammed her Lexus into a legally parked tractor on land she didn't control. I sent a copy to my lawyer, Jeff Carson, a high school friend turned land use attorney. "Dan, she's hanging herself. Give her a little more rope." Meanwhile, joggers stopped waving. Neighbors hurried their kids past my fence. Someone egged my mailbox. I didn't retaliate. I logged it all, evidence not emotion. Harvest season kept rolling. Each row of corn I cut felt like a stand against the HOA's campaign. Karen got more erratic. Lawn clippings dumped over the fence. My gate left ajar. Nothing stolen, just a warning. I was being watched. I responded by mounting a third camera with a perfect angle on the gate. She wanted spectacle, and one Saturday she got it. I watched from the tractor as her Lexus barreled down the road again, faster this time. Metal crunched, gravel scattered. Her hood crumpled like paper. She stumbled out, phone already dialing, shrieking, "He tried to kill me." Then, her fatal mistake, she grabbed a rock and hurled it through my windshield, sun flashing through the cracks. This time, Officer Cordell wasn't buying any of it. I handed over camera footage from 3 angles, collision, vandalism, audio included. Karen demanded a supervisor, shrieked about conspiracies. For the first time, I leaned back against the tractor, silent. The balance had shifted. Jeff called that night. "Dan, she just handed you everything. False report, property damage, vandalism." "I don't want a war," I said. "Too late," he replied. "Let her twist." Days went by. No more notes, no screaming, just quiet. But I've learned overseas, silence is just planning. The next strike? City code enforcement, complaints about groundwater contamination. I nearly laughed. My fuel drums were sealed, safety logs impeccable. The inspector chuckled. "Wish half our sites looked like this." Later, more spray paint. "You don't belong." I repainted, mounted another camera. Karen wanted to turn the whole neighborhood against me, but it started to backfire. Neighbors began forwarding her flyers to me with comments like, "Maybe we should stop harassing the only man growing food," or, "My kid loves his tractor." The cracks were forming. But Karen wasn't done. She started handing out flyers in her red tracksuit, warning about dangerous farm machinery. I photographed everything, signs, flyers, her smug face. It all went into the folder. Still, I felt the air shifting. Angela Booker warned me again. She's tightening the net. Don't just defend, document everything. So I did. The final straw? Karen sued me, official, certified letter from Bentley and Finch LLP, for harassment and intentional interference with neighborhood harmony. That meant discovery. Discovery meant evidence, and evidence was my home turf. I pulled Stone Creek's HOA filings at the county clerk's office. The smoking gun? Karen had served as president for 7 years longer than the bylaws allowed. No recorded elections. Dues siphoned off every month under administrative oversight, her own signature. I laid it all out in a packet. Incident reports, video links, financial records. 26 copies, one for every household in Stone Creek. By morning, the HOA Facebook group was ablaze. Neighbors whispering, questioning, turning on Karen. 3 board members knocked on my door that night, holding my letter. "We had no idea." Glenn, the interim chair, said pale. "She never showed us financials." "You trusted the wrong person," I said. They called an emergency meeting. The clubhouse was packed, neighbors clutching my evidence. Karen barged in, red blazer, heels pounding like war drums. She ranted, accused, played the martyr. Then I spoke. No binder, just proof. Photos of her Lexus crumpled against my tractor, flyers, 3 camera angles, the fake 911 call, the missing HOA funds. The room turned. Karen shrieked, accused me of forgery, but Glenn shut her down. The documents were public record. That night, the board removed her permanently. Her scream echoed through the hall as she stormed out, binder clutched tight. But she wasn't done. 2 days later, another lawsuit landed in my mailbox: defamation, harassment. I couldn't help but smile. She thought court would be her salvation, but that was the one battlefield I'd prepared for. In court, Karen strutted in like a star, flanked by lawyers, her binder overflowing. The judge, Reinhardt, tough, no nonsense, listened to her lawyers paint me as a menace, a traumatizer, an unhinged vet with a vendetta. When they finished, Jeff stood, steady as a stone, laid out the evidence, videos from 3 angles, the vandalism, the financial fraud, the inspector statements, all time-stamped, authenticated. The footage played, her car slamming into my tractor, her voice on the 911 call, her lies unraveling on tape. Karen tried to claim it was fabricated, but Reinhardt cut her off. The court dismissed her claims with prejudice, ordered her to pay damages, and referred the HOA's finances to the county auditor. Within a week, a for sale sign appeared on her lawn. No farewell, just silence. Stone Creek changed. New board, financial audits. Neighbors who once avoided me now waved or stopped by the fence. The best part? One Sunday, a little boy rode up on his bike, notebook in hand. "My dad says you fought a war with a tractor. Can I see it?" I handed him the wrench, and we finished tightening a bolt together, side by side, quiet and at peace. You know, it wasn't about winning against Karen or exposing a corrupt HOA. It was about proving that truth, steady and patient, can outlast lies and intimidation. The real harvest wasn't the corn. It was the quiet strength left standing after the storm. If you take anything from my story, let it be this: don't let anyone bully you off what's rightfully yours. Stand firm, be patient, gather your evidence. In the end, even the loudest voices collapse under the weight of their own lies. If you've ever faced down a bully or fought for what's yours, drop a comment below, where you're watching from, what your battle was, and how you stood your ground. And hey, stick around, because you never know what justice, resilience, or sweet revenge might roll through these fields next.